Now let me take the opportunity to introduce our next speaker for the day, Mr. K. Iyer. Sir, may I have your permission to begin? Thank you. Krishna Kumar, or KK as he likes to call himself, comes with 28 plus years of deep IT experience across India, USA, Australia, and Singapore. He has worked with organizations like IBM, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Siemens, and Mastech. Sir has performed in roles from large client account management, consulting, technology lead, pre-sales, and organization process head. He also has led many large ERP and outsourcing deals. He is a certified practitioner by the Association of Proposal Management Professionals, www.apmp.org, and has been an author for APMP's body of knowledge. I request Sir to kindly address the batch. Thank you.
Just leave it there. This isn't a book. No, I have a cell phone and that I can leave it here. This should interfere, is it? Okay. Some water here. Okay, good. Right, can you hear me? Yes, is it audible through the mic or just my regular voice? Mic? Okay, good. So, right, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
One more boring lecture, huh? Come on. Don't be so nice to me. Come on. How many of you are willing to take the guts and tell me, oh, I have to attend one more boring lecture? Come on, show me your hands. Come on. He's scratching his head. Should I raise his hand or not? If I were in your place, I would feel exactly that. You have gone through what, 4 lectures today? Right? I'm the 5th one. So here's what you are going to do. Today it's going to be my examination, not yours. And you are going to be my examiner. How about that? And what I want you to do is, at the end of this whole session, you need to give me marks out of 10. And you will be sincere, okay? You got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose, okay? Will you rate me? Will you give me marks?
Yes, sir.
Sure. And you'll be sincere and honest about it. Okay, good. That's a deal. Right. So my job is to keep this whole thing interesting. If I don't keep it interesting, I know you're going to give me very low marks. So it's in my interest to keep this interesting. Okay, good. What I'm going to do is keep whatever I'm going to say very short and sweet. I have exactly 6 slides or 7 slides, right? You said 7 slides. I've got exactly 7 slides. Each slide has only one word. Each slide has only one word. I'm going to talk a bit about that word and what it meant in the context of my life. If you're wondering, who cares about his life? I care about my life. Good. That's exactly the thought you should be having. Okay? Don't be ashamed. Okay? This is the most natural process you can have. If I were in your seat, that's exactly what I would think. So I'm just going to share my mantras. How these mantras helped me, where I struggled, where I failed, and just a journey that I'm going to share with you. You may like it, you may thoroughly dislike it, you may agree with me, you may not agree with me. In fact, I would like to hear disagreements more than agreements. You guys have all been taught how to agree, but I don't know how many of you have actually expressed yourself and say, no, I don't agree with this. I have a different experience. How many of you are willing to give that a shot? I want to see. Okay, you will? Good. So as we go into it, I want to hear where you don't agree with me. Okay, that's good. All right, so let's do that. Can we move to the first slide? What do you think this means? Learn to say no. Importance of saying no. Next opportunity. I never thought of that. Seriously, that's a good one. Okay. Next opportunity. Okay. It is only no. It's as simple as that. It's the opposite of yes. Why is that important? Yes.
Sir, my name is Supratik Sanghi. I am from Kolkata. Sir, sometimes in life we should say no because there are many people who can take advantage of us, and we can be harmful. It can be harmful also. So for some work we should always say no. We should not say yes every time.
Have you said no in your life?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Anybody else want to say
Thank you, sir.
anything different? Yes.
Good evening, sir. My name is Umang and I am from Bokaro Steel City, Jharkhand. Sir, according to me, a person should learn to say no because many a times in situation comes that he faces dilemma in life. He is actually willing to say no, but actually he is not able to say that. He is very much confused. He is trying to say, he is trying to think, how should I say no to the people and without hurting the sentiments of the other people.
Good, well said. Yes, many a times we do end up in that situation where we say yes, but deep inside we meant a no, right? It could be with our parents. Many times it starts with our parents. Many times it is there in the college environment that you're studying in, with your professors. It could be somebody who's very senior, somebody who holds a position of authority. We want to say no, but we end up saying a yes. The reason why I brought this up was, I think culturally, we Indians have a problem saying no. We are not taught how to say no. We are not encouraged to say no at home. Parents tell you what to do and you follow them. Okay? And then suddenly when you grow up and you start saying no to your parents, they don't know how to deal with it. But it's very important for you to be able to say no, if deep down you believe it's a no. And it could be as trivial as saying, hey, I can't come for that movie, friends. No, I can't, because I have other commitments which I need to fulfill. It could be as simple as that, to saying no to somebody who's forcing something upon you because they are in a higher position or whatever. Important skill to learn. Not easy. Okay. Yes, going back to what he was saying, you can say no in a different way. You don't have to say no in an emphatic way like that, but you could say, I have a different view on this. I want to do this, and therefore I don't believe this is right. I don't think we should do it this way. But yet, that's a no that you're saying. Okay? Okay, next. What is the meaning of responsibility? Anybody wants to give it a shot? What's the meaning of responsibility, you think? Come on, give it a shot. Yes? You want to say something? Yes, go ahead.
Sir, my name is Shruti Malik and I'm from Dehradun. And responsibility is something that you have to be responsible for. Like somebody has given you a task to do, and it is your responsibility that you do it with full power, full willingness to do, and everything, full heart.
Full heart.
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. How do you know that you have been responsible?
Sir, I actually came for MBA to take my own responsibility, to stand on my own legs, and that is responsibility for me.
Okay. All right. Very good. Have a seat. Who else wants to give? Anybody else? Somebody was raising your hand. Yes, please.
Good evening, sir. I'm Parul Pawar from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Sir, responsibility is something taking charge of the concerns of any particular thing, particular event, particular person, taking charge of the concerns related to a particular thing.
Okay. Would you say you're responsible if I have to keep monitoring you, if I have to keep asking you questions?
I didn't get you.
Okay, let's say I have given you a task. Okay. Where is Ronak? Ronak is there. Ronak was the one who came to my home and picked me up. Okay. Let's say you are doing Ronak's job, which is your job is to pick me up from my home and make sure that I'm here by 5 o'clock. Have a seat, Ronak. I'm just using you as an example. And your job is to leave the institute, take a car, pick me up and come here by 5 o'clock. That's your responsibility. Your job is to make sure I'm here by 5 o'clock. Okay. What can go wrong in this?
Well, wrong means there can be any problem while taking any responsibility, but I was just explaining the meaning of responsibility.
How will I know, for example, if I'm the director of this institute, that you have taken responsibility and you're executing it well?
By monitoring me.
Okay, so you expect me to follow every minute?
No, by the result I will.
By the result, okay. So that's one way, by the result that you produce, okay. What else? Have a seat. Any other way, by the result that you produce? Yes, go ahead. Oh, you need the mic, sorry.
My name is Samrat and I am from Korba, Chhattisgarh. Being responsible is a state when you are answerable for the work you have been assigned for.
Answerable to who?
Whomsoever asks you about the work.
What about yourself?
If I am being held responsible, then I have to answer what I have been given.
Aren't you responsible for yourself?
Yeah.
You are, right? Responsibility, have a seat. Responsibility is something which you do and you take ownership of when nobody is watching you, when nobody is supervising you. That's what is responsibility. I want to score well in my exams. I'm going to study. This is where I'm going to seek help. This is where I'm going to get a book from the library. This is where I go and consult my professor. You're taking responsibility. Is your parents monitoring you? No. They're saying, hey, you're there at the institute. I trust that you're responsible for yourself. So responsibility is something which nobody has to supervise you. So when she's tasked to bring me from home, nobody is going to monitor her on a minute by minute basis. But let's say if there's a problem, if there was a traffic jam, and if she's responsible, what will she do? She'll look for alternatives. She will keep the institute informed. That's what Ronak was doing. Every 10 minutes he was saying, hey, we are here, we should be here in another 15-20 minutes. Right? Responsibility. Looking at different stakeholders in the system. That's what is responsibility. So if you want to do well in your MBA course, you take full responsibility. You study hard. You seek help. You learn from fellow students. You go to the library. Right? All of that is responsibility. The reason why I'm bringing this out is that responsibility also means at looking at factors which are beyond your control. If Ronak was responsible to bring me from home here, the traffic situation is beyond his control. But what's his responsibility? He may say, hey, can I figure out an alternative route? I need to get KK in the institute by 5 o'clock. If I'm really going to get delayed, I better inform the institute and say, hey, we are going to get delayed. So make sure you inform the students. Okay? That's what is responsibility all about. Taking charge, making sure that you're looking at the whole thing very holistically. Other way of not taking responsibility is say, मैं क्या करूं, big traffic jam, we got delayed by half an hour, 45 minutes. That's lack of responsibility. Right? Something which doesn't get taught in classrooms. It has to come from your attitude. It has to come from your mindset, which is to say that, how do I take ownership of this? This is my baby. I'm going to be in charge of this. Right? What was my responsibility towards this? Is to think about and say, what would students like you want to hear from me? When I was your age, what would I have loved to hear? That's my responsibility, and that's what I've tried to put together. You may still not like it, you may still not agree with me, that's okay, but am I executing my responsibility well? Is an indication. Was I ready when Ronak came to pick me up at 3:30 in the afternoon today? I was ready. I'm executing my responsibility. So one of the best yardsticks of responsibility is that you have taken responsibility when nobody has to ask you, nobody has to supervise you, nobody has to chase you. That's an indicator that you are a person who is responsible. Note that word responsibility has a word called response. See that? Response and ability makes it responsibility. It's a very fascinating word. Okay. Good. Next one, please. Closure. What do you think closure means? Any guesses? Come on, give it a shot. To wind up, yes. Closure means the word close. You open something, make sure it gets closed. Right? Simple thing is, you open a cupboard, take the stuff out, whatever you want, it's clothes, books, whatever, and you close the cupboard. Right? We leave many things open in our lives. Many conversations open in our lives. Right? Bring closure is something which is very important. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is something which I face on a day-to-day basis with my clients. My clients are all Indian businesses. And the biggest challenge that I see is my clients don't bring closure. It could be as simple as saying, hey, we will meet next week. Fine. When do we meet? What's the date and time? No closure. We will meet. We agreed we will meet. Bring closure to it by putting in a date and time. It also comes from responsibility. To that extent, they are all interrelated. Okay? If you take responsibility, you will bring closure to that issue. The challenge that I see today in the corporate world is the ability or the lack of ability to bring closure to things. To say we will meet 2 weeks later, or we will discuss on this 10 days later, or send me something within the next 2 to 3 days, and you send them something and you don't hear anything after that. Closure also means saying no. No, I'm not interested, thank you. That's closure. Closure also means to say no, we can't discuss this now, we will have to revisit this maybe 3 weeks later, 3 months later, is closure. Lack of closure is something where the other party is expecting something from you, or you are expecting something from them, is lack of closure. And actually closure is very simple to achieve, it's just that we don't practice it and follow it. And a lot of it stems from taking responsibility. And one indicator of closure is saying no. One indicator of closure is yes. Another indicator of closure is, hey, I'm too confused, I don't think I can deal with it now, and that's all right. Can we revisit this later when I have a bit more clarity maybe? It's still closure. Closure doesn't necessarily mean yes. Okay. Any questions? I'm seeing a few lost faces. Yes.
Getting closer to your aim, it also means like English is a beautiful language. A simple word has too many meanings. So closure is that you are getting close to your aim or something that you have set.
That's getting close, C-L-O-S-E. Closure is basically you're closing that thread of conversation, or that thing that you opened with the other party.
So there is a song by Aerosmith, there is a line that I try to forget and I get closure. So that is
that closure is C-L-O-S-E-R. That's coming close to somebody, getting closer to somebody. That's different from closure. This is S-U-R-E. Okay, so
thank you.
That's the difference. Yes. Yep, mic here, please.
So I want to ask you one thing that, like you said, closure means to wind off. Close.
Yes.
So from my life, whatever happened in the past, how shall I wind off that thing, the bad things and all?
Good question. Very good question. Yes, you might have had situations in your life which have a seat, which are still kind of remaining open within you, and the challenge there is how do you close it within yourself? Maybe the other party has already closed it, but you have not closed it in your mind. Never an easy answer for that. And I'm so glad you brought up those kind of situations. It could be the death of somebody very close within your family, or it could be a breakup in a relationship, whatever be those relationship, and you're still struggling to deal with it. There's a lot of blame, there is guilt, there is sadness, there is nostalgia, all sorts of things happening, and you're not able to bring closure to it. In those situations, the only thing I can say is time is the best way of closing it. As you grow older and older, you will automatically start closing them. Sorry? Well, then you may have to allow it some more time to pass. That's a very good question that you raised. One thing is, on those personal closures, don't force it. Let it be. Let it come as it comes. Observe, let it go. As it comes, observe, let it go. Okay? Don't keep staying in those thoughts, you know. If you can, keep moving out, and you'll notice that you will bring closure to it. It may take time, but don't put pressure on yourself. Oh, 7 years I haven't closed it. That's all right. Other party is not waiting for you. You are the only one who has kept it open. Okay. So that's what I would suggest. But on other issues like professional areas, or even with friends and all of those, you know, maybe you guys have discussed saying, oh, we will go for this trek or this trip or something like that, but they're all waiting for you. You don't commit to it. Neither do you say yes, neither do you say no. Bring closure to those things. Either you commit and say, yes, I'm coming, or you say, no, I can't come because of these reasons and I have a right to say no. But bring closure. Don't let those other parties keep hanging. I have had so many situations where, you know, I used to organize tours with my friends, and there's a problem with us in India is, I'll say, okay, do we all agree? So let's say these 4 are my friends, and we say, hey, we are going to, you know, let's say on a trek to Ladakh, for example. Yeah, you all coming? Yeah, you're all coming. Okay, this date we are going. Are you okay? Yeah. Good. What next? I need you to show me commitment, right? So I'll say, pay me money for the train tickets, pay me money for the air tickets, whatever, whichever way we are going. And then they'll say, oh no, you know what, I need a couple of days more to think. Okay, take 2 more days to think, but at the end of 2 days you go back and say yes or no. Closure. I'm just giving this as an example. We need to bring this responsibility in our lives. We don't do that. And this is a unique challenge amongst us in India and with Indians. Okay. Uncontrollables. Uncontrollables. What's an uncontrollable? Sorry? Out of your control. Example. Nature. Yeah, that's going too far. Okay. Emotions. Okay. You have a seat.
Good evening, sir. My name is Rumeli. I'm from Calcutta. Sir, uncontrollable is when you have a handful of sand and you clench it hard, but you have no control over it. That's
Okay.
uncontrollable.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you.
Bad habits. Example, smoking, drinking. It's not controllable?
So, but I have seen many people can't control.
Sure. Okay. I hope you don't have one of those. Huh?
No, sir.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Do you think you have control over the results that you're going to get? Yes? Okay. So you can, what sort of results do you want? No, I'm not interested in your actions. What sort of results do you want to achieve?
In regard
With all your exams and tests and all of those?
good results.
Good results. A good result is what? A plus, A, what's, that's how
Obviously
you have
A.
marks, or A grades, or what? Grades. So A plus, you're happy with A plus? You have control over that?
No, but I will try to
You'll try to.
achieve.
You don't have any control over that.
It depends on my hard work. If I
So, okay, if you only do hard work, will you get A plus?
will perform that ways.
You're not. I'm asking you very simple
Okay.
questions. You're not giving me simple answers. Getting A plus, is it within your control? You said yes, right?
Yeah, I
Don't worry. It's all right. We are having a nice conversation here. Don't worry. I'm not putting you in a difficult spot. You said that?
yes.
Yes. Now you said if I do hard work, I'll get A plus.
I think so.
I think so.
I
Why aren't you sure?
no, no, I'm sure about
You're
myself.
sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a seat. Let's ask the others. If she puts hard work, is she guaranteed to get A plus? No. Why? What can go wrong? Like? Can you be not well probably on the day of the exam? That's possible. Then what might happen? You agree that's possible? Okay. What else? Possible. Quite possible. Do you agree with that? No? Yes. Okay. What else? She might forget. Do you forget? I used to forget. Huh? I used to hate exams. Is it possible? Yes. What else? The paper might be, okay, all right. Poor thing. Any control on that? No control. What else? Sorry?
Be along with that hard work.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little wary of using the word destiny. But give me examples where it's beyond her control. She can do nothing about it.
I can tell you about my life. Like, I was up all night. I was working hard for my CAT exam preparation, and I couldn't score good percentile. And I was like, I had been working hard from 6 months, like all nights, and I was working hard. But then I couldn't get good marks. Then I thought, let's get to a nice college, not a good college, but a nice college. And then let's see what destiny holds for me next. So my hard work is there till now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Fair enough.
I believe in destiny.
Sure. Fair enough. Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat. So the point here is that what is the result she wants to achieve? An A plus. What is in her control? Hard work. That's the only thing she is under her control. There's nothing else which is under your control. Yeah. Look at the number of reasons they all gave you, and you agreed with them. You could fall sick. You could go suddenly all blank. Maybe the exam paper was extremely tough. What you prepared and what came could be very, very different, possible. I'm sure you have faced it in your life, right? So look at the number of things which are beyond your control. So the point here is that actually you have no control over results. How many of you follow cricket? Quite a lot of you. Have you heard of MS Dhoni saying, we follow process, right? If you have heard of him saying, we follow a process. Because on the day he lands up on the cricket match, a toss determines whether he wins or loses. The surface of the pitch makes a difference whether he wins or loses. The dew on the ground makes a difference. The umpire gives a good decision or a bad decision, it makes a difference. His bowler is completely out of form, makes a difference. His batting is out of form, makes a difference. Dhoni has no control over the result. It's the process. That's the only thing that he has under his control. The hard work that you have as a process is the only thing under your control. So, don't worry about the uncontrollables. Just focus on the controllables. Can I work hard? Yes, I can work hard. That's under my control, and I'll do everything to make sure that I'm doing that. If the exam paper turns out to be tough, too bad. If I feel sick that day, too bad. Could I have controlled it? I couldn't have controlled it. Maybe I shouldn't have eaten that bhel puri the day before the exam. You like bel puri? She's smiling happily, see. So don't eat bel puri before exam day. Right? So in life, focus on the controllable. What can I do next? Ronak's responsibility is to get me here by 4:50, right? 4:40, right? That was a task given to him. And there are so many uncontrollables that he could have had. We got stuck in traffic in between, right? In Kathraj Road. What did Ronak do? He came 15 minutes early. So he reduced one uncontrollable of traffic and gave himself more time. He had his phone and GPS on with Google Maps, so he doesn't get lost finding the way. And coming to my place is not very easy. He's not even familiar. He's not even from Pune, poor fellow. What did he do? He said, I don't know the route. I don't know the traffic. Driver also does not know the route. Driver is also not from Pune. Hey, I have Google Maps. Let me use that. I'll go 15 minutes early. Right? He took charge of all controllables within his hand. Goes back to responsibility. Reason why I am bringing these examples are these are day-to-day issues that I am talking about. So every time you are in a situation of responsibility and you say, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Focus on all those small little tasks. Things which are within your control. And you will see that you actually are progressing very well. Don't try to solve global poverty. Oh, I want to solve global poverty. There are many people who have attempted it, failed, and they are continuing to do that as well. You focus on things which are within your control. Make sense? Okay. Good. Next. Sorry. Question? Somebody? Yeah. Next one. What is the problem with common sense? Ah, you heard of this, huh? Not so common. Why is common sense not so common? You said it. You have caught yourself now. Now you have to justify. Do we all have common sense? Firstly.
No, there's a lack of it.
Oh, we lack common sense. Ah, okay. Thank you. You are the first one who have said that. So tell me, in what way we lack common? So common sense is not common.
Sometimes we find in the interaction with the people.
Okay, that he doesn't have common sense. He or she.
He is not using, or she is not using his common sense.
Okay, but he or she has common sense.
Yeah.
And not using
maybe
it.
yeah, or not.
Give me an example. Can you give me one example, if you don't mind, please?
No, I don't have a perfect example, but in the day-to-day life, if we interact with the people, we find it very easy.
Okay. Can you name one common sense that we see, but we keep saying, hey, common sense nahi hai. Let me hear him. Do you have any example of that kind?
Nah, I've said not an exact example.
Not example. I want to hear somebody else. I know you have had too many chances. Let me get some others too. Any examples of people lacking common sense? Yes, please. Or Mike here.
Sir, many a times it happens that people are aware of the things that they should do, but they are not doing that. Supposing, for example, sir, as our Prime Minister has initiated a scheme or a program, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, people are aware that they should not throw garbages around all over the places. There are dustbins for throwing garbages,
Sure.
but they are not throwing garbages in the dustbin. But outside the dustbin, there are garbages thrown.
That's right.
So
Absolutely.
there is a lack of common sense.
Very good. Very good example. We do that. And let me challenge you here. I think each one of you is guilty of doing this. Be truthful to yourself. You have thrown this garbage, right? And yet we expect somebody to clean this up. The same thing, if I were to say throw garbage here on this floor, you would not do that. You would not dare not do that, right? Why? Couple of things. There's a system in place here which cleans up this place. The environment is such that you won't mess it up. When you see somebody out there throwing a garbage, "Arey haan, wo dala hai to one more, yeah, how much, what difference does it make?" Breaking the red light. When we ride a two-wheeler, we break the red lights. How many of you ride two-wheelers back home? And quite a few. How many of you have actually broken a red light, gone through the red light? Thank you for being honest. Now ask yourself the question, is the red light for your protection or is it there for show? And yet you do that. So no wonder he says common sense is not so common. It's for your own protection. If you get knocked off at the intersection by another car, you can't blame anybody and your life is gone. You could be crippled for life. I can tell you, I can guarantee you in writing, all of you have common sense. So, I don't agree with you. All of you have common sense, except that we choose not to apply it. Okay. Go ahead and use it, and you'll be surprised with yourself. Okay. Why is happiness important? You want to say something? Go ahead. It's just a state of mind?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what's a big deal?
But you have to achieve it.
Okay, so what's the point? Do you like to be happy?
Yes, sir.
Have you been sad?
Yeah, many times.
Many times. So whenever you are sad, do you want to be happy?
Yeah, sir, I want to get over it.
Get over it. Whenever you are happy, do you want to be sad?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. So you want to be in a happy state, right? Is it possible for you to describe happiness?
It's difficult to describe happiness.
It's difficult to describe, but you know what it is.
Yeah, I know what.
And you want to be in that state.
Yeah.
Always?
So it's not possible for us.
No,
to
no.
have-
Do you want to be always
Yes, sir,
in a
I
state
want
of
to be
happiness?
happy always.
It's not possible, it's a different issue, right? So we all want to be happy. Have a seat. We all have been happy. We have also been sad. So we know what's the state of happiness. How many of you believe that somebody else has made you unhappy? Or something makes you unhappy? Is there anything that makes you unhappy? A situation or something? Give me an example. You are unhappy. If you get poor results, you are unhappy, right? Okay. Uncontrollable. Huh? What else? Something that makes you unhappy.
Good evening, sir. My name is Pankaj Manani and I am from Gorakhpur, UP. Sir, unhappy means...
Gorakhpur, UP.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, unhappy means when we are not internally satisfied.
Okay. I understand the definition. Is there something which makes you unhappy?
Sir, suppose if I have put my target to achieve first class result in first semester exams and if I got second class exams, so internally I am not satisfied with my marks.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
That makes me unhappy.
That makes you unhappy. Okay. So not satisfied makes you unhappy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that means satisfied also makes you happy?
Yes, sir. When I get internally satisfied, then I becomes happy.
Okay, so give me an example of you're internally satisfied and therefore you're happy. Don't give me an example. Give me something else.
Sir, suppose I put my target to achieve to purchase a bike. When I will purchase the bike, my target will be complete, and I will become happy. Then
So you have a bike,
yes, sir.
you do, and when did you buy this bike?
Sir, 12 December 2012.
12th December 2012. Wow, 12, 12, 12, huh?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So, did anything make you sad yesterday, day before, a week, a month ago?
No, sir.
Nothing. So, since December 12th, 2012, you have only been happy.
Yes, sir.
Nothing has come up which has made you sad.
Sir, I change my negativeness into positiveness. That's why I become happy.
Okay. Okay. So, you are perpetually happy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And satisfied.
Yes, sir.
There is nothing which causes you unhappiness.
No, sir.
Who's his buddy? I know you have a buddy system. Who's his buddy?
Sir, my buddy has not been appointed.
Your buddy has
Not been appointed.
not appointed. Oh dear. We need to ask why a buddy has not been appointed. Sorry, I'm just pulling your leg. Okay, fair enough. Have a seat. I just wanted to.
Thank you, sir.
I'm glad if you are in that state, which is good. I think that's a very. I'll give you my own personal mantra. I'm mostly happy but never satisfied. What that means is that when things go wrong, remember uncontrollables? I'm temporarily unhappy, but after that I move back to a state of happiness, but I'm not satisfied. I always ask, can I have done this better? Even when things have gone well, I ask the question, could I have done this better? So I consider myself mostly happy, but never satisfied. Okay. Now the question to ask you is, who's responsible for your happiness? You ourselves. But yet is there somebody who causes unhappiness for you? Your parents, your siblings, yes? Who causes unhappiness to you? Go ahead, that's all right. You can name your parents, don't worry, they won't come to know.
When I disappoint my mother in some ways,
Right,
then I get unhappy because of her disappointment, which I caused.
sure.
And sometimes friends and family, someone
So
who
they
is close,
cause,
yeah, from their behavior or certain actions, they cause
Sure.
unhappiness to us.
and what do you do about it?
I take my time. I convey to them that what I felt and what I would have expected out of them.
Sure,
And if they understand that it's okay, and if it is not, then I respect the relationship more rather than spoiling it by just one incident.
sure.
So I just let it go.
Well said, very well said. Have a seat.
Thank
That's
you,
a
sir.
very mature response that you gave. The thing is, we are responsible for our happiness. Now, what that means here is that, yes, many a times our parents tell us what to do, but deep inside we don't feel very good about it. I don't know, many of you are even here in this institute because your parents asked you to come, or your parents forced you to come. Maybe your parents told you, you got to have an MBA degree. I don't know. I do know this happens. The choice here is that you can say, well, I'll accept that and I'll be happy about it. I will not accept that and still be happy about it. Therefore, I'll make my own choice. If I were to give you my own example, I like choices. And I don't like anybody dictating to me, so I always like to say, what are my choices, and then I'll choose. Once I've chosen, then I take full responsibility for it. Whether it works out well, it doesn't work out well, I take full responsibility. I don't blame anybody else. If I say, if things didn't go well, I'll say, hey, what could I have done better to achieve that particular result, for example. The key thing here is that it took me a long time to realize this, and I'll be very candid with you. when I was at your age, I think I was very unhappy. I was unhappy with my family, I was unhappy with the world, I was unhappy with myself included. And it was a very important journey for me, because the more I delved and thought about it, and I'm saying, oh, he did this and she did this and that person did this, and why did this situation end up like this? And all I was doing was griping and grumping and complaining, and I realized that nothing in the world changes. The world seems to be the same, and it doesn't seem to bother about who I am and what I am. And that's when the realization came that I need to be happy. I am responsible for my happiness. And I need to start looking at things very differently than the way I was looking at. Is that controllable? That's controllable. What your parents say and do is not controllable. What your friends and relatives and whoever is, your colleagues, what they say and they do and to hurt your feelings is not controllable. But your reaction is controllable. And every time you take responsibility for that, you are going to be happy. You're going to be happier. Okay. Something to keep in mind, something that you can keep watching out for. Every time you feel sad, every time you feel low, ask the question, what can I do next? Remember the controllable, uncontrollable? What can I do next? As she said, that person said something which was hurtful. One way is to say, oh my God, the world is treating me so bad, and go into my room and stay in a corner. Another way is to say is that, that's what he said. That does not mean that's what I am. Or if you deeply felt hurt, you can still go back to that person and say, whatever you said, something similar to what you said, was hurtful. I don't think you meant that maybe, but it certainly hurt me. And get it off your chest and move on. Something which is important, because as you get in the corporate life, there will be politics. There will be people who will play against you, people who may not like you, people who may be competing against you. All sorts of things are happening out there. Uncontrollables. Okay. So just bear this in mind. Good. I think that's probably the last slide. All right. Those are the 6 mantras that I just wanted to share with you, my thoughts. I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to wait for questions from you. Any question is fine. The worst answer you will get is, I don't know. Yes? You have a question? No? Okay. Come on, I was hoping to hear more questions. Yes, please.
So my question is, at times you want to get unhappy. Like, I am a very...
you want to get unhappy?
Yes, sir. This happens with me.
Okay.
I am a very happy girl. I make everyone laugh and smile around me. But at night, there is a time that I feel I want to get sad and unhappy. And that is my decision. And I just don't want to be happy at that point of time.
Sure.
So what is it?
I don't know. And my response to you is, that's all right. If that's what who you are, stay with that. Don't go by what the world defines things and dictates to you. So far as you are yourself, it doesn't matter. So far as you are not putting up a face to impress somebody or show off to somebody, it doesn't matter. If you want to be in a state of unhappiness and sadness, so be it. That's all right.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Yes.
Good evening, sir. Sir, my name is Somya. I am from Odisha. Sir, I want to know, sir, you said the 6 mantras of your life. Sir, what are these mantras to get success? I am sorry, sir. Sir, you said the 6 mantras of your life. Sir, is this the only mantra of being a successful person in life?
Okay, first I want to demolish this word called success. Okay, what do you mean by success?
Something you want to achieve out of your life?
No, no. In your terms, what is success?
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to say, sir, that something I want to become in the ultimate.
Can you be a bit more precise?
So my ultimate goal
Is?
to become the most successful person I want to see myself.
You're still not giving me a definition of success. Is success money?
No.
Success is not money. So you think Bill Gates is not successful?
Yeah, he's successful, but successful is he has become the best person in his eyes.
Okay. So what is success? Let's come to that, and then we'll come to your point. Have a seat. What is success?
Success means to create my own identity in the society.
Okay. So for you, what is success then? What is your identity that you might want to create? Or you don't know? You're
Sir-
still thinking about it.
Sir, to do good work for the society.
Okay. All right. So, yes. Bhagyashree, right? Yeah. Yes, Bhagyashree.
Sir, for me, success is satisfaction from which comes from what I will be achieving personally and professionally both.
Okay. All right. So, success is if you think you are putting some good effort and it produce some results, you think you feel it's successful for you.
When I'm putting some effort and it produces the desirable outcome.
Sure. Desirable
will-
outcome, then
yeah.
it is success. Okay. All right. Any other definitions of success? Yes. I'll come to you. Let him finish.
So my name is Kilol Vad. I'm from Jamshedpur. So according to me, success is an ongoing process, and as we complete our one goal or if we want to achieve something and we have succeeded in that, we are successful in that, and after that we'll carry on with our some other goal. That is success.
So, success is something which you have defined for yourself,
Yes.
right? Okay. All right. Somebody was raising a hand. You were. Yes. Sure. Okay. Yes, please. No, he was raising his hand.
Sir, success is a never-ending process. Never-ending process.
Which
It
is what he
continues.
said.
Yes, sir. It continues.
So, give me an example of success for you.
Suppose my success is to become a manager. After becoming a manager, then my success will be becoming a CEO or founder, or becoming our own office.
So, success for you is titles.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, that's all right. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. So, success is something which you define for yourself. How do you know I'm a successful person or not? The gentleman who raised a question. Why are you saying I'm successful? You don't even know me.
No, sir.
Just
Sir-
because I'm here and lecturing, you think I'm successful?
No, sir. I see you are happy in your life.
So, for you, somebody who is happy in life is successful.
No, sir. That is not the point, sir. I want
Okay.
to say that successful to me is what I want to become. I want to become the best person I
Sure.
see in myself.
Sure.
Yes, I see you
But
are
yet you're
happy.
calling me successful.
Sir, I haven't said you are successful.
Oh, you only call me successful.
Sir, you said that those 6 mantras are key to life or something
Okay,
like that.
all right. Sorry, I'm just asking you some tough questions because for you, I may be successful and in my own mind, I may be unsuccessful. That's possible.
Yes, sir.
And the reverse is also true.
Yes, sir.
I might consider myself very successful. Yeah, what is it? Yeah,
Yes, sir. It may.
that's also possible. Now you see. Have a seat. I was reading this book by Steve Jobs, written by this Ivar Isaacson or whatever that author is. Sorry? Walter Isaacson. There she knows everything. So, Steve Jobs had a premonition in life that he was going to die young. He somehow felt he was going to die young. And that's why he went all out to create the products that he created. He didn't do MBA. He was a school dropout. I'm sure you know about it. And he was extremely ruthless with people. He was extremely rude. He will run down people. Okay? How many of you consider Steve Jobs successful? Unsure, not sure. You think he is unsuccessful? Who considers Steve Jobs unsuccessful? Why? According to him, he is not successful. Why he came and told you?
Actually, it is an ongoing process, sir. It is an ongoing process.
Aye, Baba, he is already dead.
So after, now to me it is
Only
successful.
2.5 years he is dead.
Sir, to me it is successful, sir. To me he is successful.
That's why I am asking a question. Who thinks Steve Jobs is unsuccessful? Nobody. Just because he won lots of money, he created products which are not even environmentally friendly. You can't repair those products, you have to throw them away. Successful? Yes. You think he's not successful? Okay, why?
Sir, because for being a successful person, you have to be a good human being. As you said just now, he was not a good person. He was not good with his behavior. He was very rude to the people. So
therefore, you think I am saying he is not successful. Is that what you are saying?
No sir, if a person is not good from within, the positivity to do something will not come from him. So unless and until the positivity feeling comes from within of the person, he is not completely successful.
Okay, there are so many people in this world who you don't even know do a lot of positive things. They don't come in newspapers and TV channels and all of those. Are they successful? Not sure, don't know.
Not sure.
That's all right, have a seat. Now you see the challenge with this word called success. It's such a funny kind of term that normally we associate success with money, with fame, right? With books being written on you, articles being written on you. But it may not necessarily be true. People are now starting to see the challenge with many of the Apple products. Saying, hey, maybe it's not such a great product. Coming to think of it. You can't change the battery. Once your iPod or iPhone is over, you literally have to throw it away. Or go and give it back to Apple and then they will give you a new one and charge you a bomb. Okay. So, this whole word called success is a very, very loose definition. There is no absolute definition of success. Success is something what you define for yourself. That's all that matters. Steve Jobs probably defined success for himself as coming up with great products which will dominate the world. That to him was maybe success. I don't know whether he died happy or not. That only he knows best. But that's probably what he defined success. So this word success is something which you have to define for yourself. Okay. So in your view, somebody may be a successful person. In somebody else's view, that person might not be successful. If you take a Narendra Modi, for example, many people will consider him very successful. So look at the background from which he came from. He used to sell tea at the railway station. And now he's the Prime Minister of the country. He fought hard. And to many, people will say he's not a successful person. He's not a good human being, maybe. Some people accuse him of that. Right? So this word success is a very, very relative definition. And all I can tell you here is define success for yourself and go follow that path. Yes.
Good evening, sir. My name is Akanksha. I'm from Dehradun. I just wanted to say about success is, you may be successful, means if you are inspiring me and I am ready to follow your path, even if I don't know anything about you, then you are a successful person for me. Otherwise, you are not at all, you mean nothing to me. This can be a means what I can think for a successful person, because at now you have told about Steve Jobs and Narendra Modi. People follow them. People, they inspire people. They set an example in front of people that they don't force people that you have to follow me or you have to do whatever I'm doing. So that's why people say that they are a successful person.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Have you heard of Asaram Bapu?
Yes, sir.
Lots of people followed him.
Yes, sir.
Maybe I am also like an Asaram Bapu. You don't know.
Yes,
so
sir.
be careful following me and all.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
I'm just pulling your leg in a slightly serious note as well. I think the key thing that you need to distinguish, and I think all of us needs to distinguish, is that yes, there may be an inspirational personality, okay, but very important that you don't give up your rational thinking mind and follow that success path blindly.
Yes, sir, that is true.
That is what I would want to leave you with, because you never know where there is a hidden Asaram Bapu.
Yes, sir.
Right?
That's right.
I think what's very important is, in my view, is, and you will see many such inspirational people in your life. Okay. What's important is to keep asking yourself questions and say, is this the right thing that I should also be following? What are some of the good things that I can imbibe out of that person? But don't lose your rational thinking mind. That to me is far more important.
Yes, sir, that is.
People lost it when they were following people like Asaram Bapu. That's why godmen thrive in our country. Because people are not secure about themselves and they follow blindly a person and then they end up losing everything. What happens is, when that sort of a personality falls down in front of their eyes, their whole life turns out to be a disaster. They go completely berserk and they go completely unhappy. Remember what I said? You are responsible for your happiness. What that means is that, am I following an Asaram Bapu here, that 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, I end up that the whole veil falls down in front of my eyes and my whole life turns out to be a disaster. That's all that I can tell you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, you will see inspirational personalities. Yes, you will see some very strong personalities in the corporate world, in your personal lives, in your family, friends, whoever you meet. Look at the fawning over celebrities. Have a seat, have a seat. Many people fall head over heels over Bollywood personalities. Right? People leave their homes and go off to Mumbai and chase their dreams. I don't have a problem in you chasing your dreams. But don't fawn over individuals. Moment you are born, moment you are there on this earth, you are imperfect. You have flaws. And that's all right. It's all right to have those flaws. And this is where there is a beautiful paradox. You are actually perfect in your imperfections. That's why if you see, your friends, your roommates, your relatives, each one of them has some quirk or the other. I don't like the way he, keeps the room so dirty, or I don't like his bad habits, or, something or the other. The bestest of the friends, you will see something annoying about them. And guess what? The same is true about you. Ask your friends, they will tell you 10 other things about you. There's nothing called perfection. So don't expect a Narendra Modi or a Steve Jobs or any of them to have perfection. Remember common sense? Use your own common sense. Say, hey, I I like the way Modi communicates. Great, imbibe that. I like the design qualities that maybe Steve Jobs incorporated in his products. Great, imbibe that. But don't attempt to become a Steve Jobs. You are not a Steve Jobs. You are not a Narendra Modi. You are who you are. And stay true to that. You will never go wrong. You will never ever go wrong. I can guarantee you that. Questions? Yes.
Good evening, sir. My name is Aditi Jadhav. I am from Dhar, Madhya Pradesh. Sir, first of all, I'll take your pardon. Sir, can I disagree to one point?
Yes.
Sir, you said happiness is an inside job. Sir, but for me, it is not so. Sir, because right now I was seeing on the screen, and in both the P's, I thought of my parents' name. Their name is Prabhakar and Pratibha. Sir, if I talk about this Diwali holidays, so we won't be going to our home. And I'm very sure that they won't be happy. They won't be happy because I'm not there. And thinking that they are not happy, I'll not be happy here. Sir, so being in Indian culture and being brought up in an emotional atmosphere, I think that happiness is not an inside job.
Okay. All right. Good point. Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
So you said, sorry, what was your name? You said
Aditi.
Aditi.
Yes.
So Aditi's challenge here is that during Diwali, if you go, they will not be happy. Or no, if you don't go, they will not be happy. And you can't go because you have a tight schedule, right? So Aditi can't go to see her parents during Diwali. So they are not going to be happy, and therefore she is not going to be happy. Okay? Sensible point. So what can Aditi do? Skype. Okay. Bunk. Did you think of that? You did. Okay. What else? Call parents here. Already thought of. You can all chip in and contribute to the tickets if you want. Okay. So Aditi, you can see that you actually have many choices. You realize it's creating an unhappy situation for them and probably for you. And now you can exercise those choices and say, which is the choice that I can exercise here? And you may realize that none of the choices, or at least Skype may not be an ideal choice. Getting your parents may not be a workable choice. But with Skype, at least you can see them and talk to them. Okay. The question here about you are responsible for your happiness is exactly this. To say that this is a situation which is beyond my control. I have to be in the college because I have to submit assignments, exams. What do you have around Diwali time? Exams? Or you have to celebrate here. So it's a college imposed thing. You can't change it. Uncontrollable? Now you say, what is it that I can do? And go out and do that to the best possible extent and be happy about it. Is that under your control? That's all that I'm saying. Remember, you will be in situations where there are uncontrollable situation, and yet you want to be happy. And you say, hey, but this is contradictory. Exactly the situation that he's talked about. And yet there are so many things that you can do, and deep down you will feel a sense of satisfaction that I have done my best. When you realize you have done your best, you will automatically feel happy about it. Give this a shot. You may in fact generate a few more ideas. I mean, I think you had 2-3 ideas coming up here, but you may even generate a few more ideas for all you know. Let's see how it goes. I would also like to say a word of caution here that happiness is not something which I believe you can always be in, but you always want to strive for. And so far as you continue to do that, you will find that you're making right choices. And at least that's worked very well in my life, is that when I'm making those choices with clarity, with consciousness, I find that I'm happy. Okay, I've given it my best shot. Okay, good. Who else? Somebody had a question there. Yes, I haven't heard from her.
Good evening, sir. My name is Monica Shrivastava. Sir, now we are discuss about the success. So my question to you is, sir, according to you, what was the success mantra of your life?
Success mantras are these, which took me some time to kind of realize and imbibe. I think, is your question what did I define success for myself?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If that's the case, then it's a different question. My success criteria, if I may say, or what I considered as successful, has been changing obviously. At one time I wanted to be in the IT industry. I came into the IT industry, and I think I did well according to my own yardstick. One area where I was extremely poor at was public speaking like this. I was extremely nervous. I said I could never do it. But I knew I had to work on it. And every time I worked on it, I got better. I started looking at people and said how they operate. What is it therefore I can imbibe? And today I can say I'm not a bad speaker. The other thing which I was always concerned about was earning respect. Earning respect from people who I interact with, from my peers and colleagues, was an important success criteria for me. I think by and large, wherever I have gone, in my own opinion, I think I have achieved that. People don't at least come and tell me, KK, I don't like your face, get out of my room. They don't say that. They say, yes, you're welcome, and it's good to have a conversation with you, and all of those. So these have been some of my success. Yes, the other one was I wanted to always stay healthy. So that's one thing which I invest a lot in, is to stay healthy. So I keep myself fit, I eat good stuff, and I get good amount of sleep, I play sports, everything that I do I enjoy, whether I do yoga or home cooked food or sleep, or all of those I enjoy, and therefore, touch wood, I still enjoy a reasonable amount of good health. I don't take any pills, no tablets, nothing. When I see so many of my friends and colleagues at my age, they literally, one meal is pretty much tablets, and I consider myself so blessed that I made those right choices. These are my success criteria. Hope that helps.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, you want to disagree with me? You said you are going to disagree with me. Okay?
Sir, can I ask you a question out of this session?
The worst answer you'll get is I don't know.
But you must be knowing this.
Don't assume.
Okay, fine. Sir, actually, from the day we have joined the college, it has been told to us that we have to maintain ourselves according to the corporate culture. Means there are certain do's and don'ts. You know, the communication, how to communicate, your body language mainly while public speaking. And sir, I'm not finding you that formal. I'm sorry to say, but I'm not finding you that formal. So
even though I'm wearing a jacket.
no. Still, but your body language, I am not finding it that formal for public speaking, and I'm liking it. But I just want to ask that is your habit of being like this have ever made you in any trouble?
Good. Very good question. Have a seat. I think I was discussing with Ronak Veriziri. We were discussing something along these, right? So how to use sir and yeah. I had asked you to remind me about this. You also forgot. Okay, good. You're going to remind me. All right. Ronak and I were having a conversation in the car, and he was talking about how some of these formalities in corporates is being taught to you. So, for example, addressing sir, ma'am, you know, wearing the right dress, all of those is something which you're being taught. And I think it's a good thing, because when you're starting off in your career, it's better to be a bit more formal than informal, because with formal you can't go wrong. Addressing somebody as sir, at worst they will say, don't call me sir, please call me by my first name. Like, I don't like to be addressed by sir. I want you to call me as KK. Okay. But the same thing, other corporates will not accept you calling them by first names. Okay. So how do you behave in such a situation? You don't know what that person accepts, doesn't accept, and so on and so forth. It's better to be formal than to be informal. Unless they say, hey, you know, don't be so formal, relax, then you can relax a little bit. Having said that, you know, talking about my style and all of those, couple of things. One, as a student audience, if I am going to be very strict and very, very dominating, I don't think you will like it. I don't think you will like me telling you do this and don't do this. But whereas if I share stories with you, whereas if I share my experiences, then you may like it better than otherwise. At least that's the way I like it. I don't like anybody telling me, KK, you must do this. Who are you, man? I'll deliberately rebel. That's a very natural streak in all of us. So with students, I adopt this style because I genuinely want questions, and I want to answer to the best of my possible extent. Yes, there are some corporate presentations where I'm slightly more formal, but this is generally the style that I have adopted. I'm comfortable with it. This is who I am. You won't find me very, very informal, you know, in that, like hi-fi and come in shorts and, you know, not that. That's carrying it a bit too far. Okay. So, yeah, the only thing I figured in life is that I'm going to stay true to myself, because you may be happy with me, but she may not be happy with me. She may say, what is this informal? He just walks in and, you know, does all this thing. I don't like it. He comes, he says he has got totally some other theory. Do I keep all of you happy, or do I keep myself happy? The only thing I can controllable is my happiness. So this is what I am happy, and this is how I am. I'll stay like this. Looks very simple, I know, but you realize that after a point in time, all the show and all the drama baji, and when we are young, of course, you know, the boys are trying to impress the girls and the girls are trying to impress the boys. I'm sure all that happens, and that's all right. It's part of life. I don't have to do all that.
Once I was told by a senior person that I have lost my youth. I have lost my youth, as in I don't behave like youngsters. I don't know why, but
what do you believe?
I don't think so. At times I enjoy myself, at times I don't.
That's it. That's it. You can't control what he says, but you can control what you think and what you believe. If you're not lost your youth, and you think you are still that same person and enjoying yourself, and you're growing in whatever way and all of those, be comfortable with it. That's it. You know, it's like this. Have a seat. I'll give you an example. For example, my wife, she learns Carnatic music, and she likes all this heavy Carnatic music and all of those, and I absolutely can't listen to that. You know, the kind of songs I like, you won't believe it. I absolutely like those. I'll just give you a couple of examples. For Char Bottle vodka. Then what is the other one that is? There is a bhajan style one which is coming. Mata ka email aaya hai. You won't believe it. I just enjoy those songs. Jacket, we are looking very formal. And my wife is saying, I said, what's your problem? Don't listen if you don't want to listen. So that's who I am, and I don't have a problem with that. I like all those kachara songs. I do, of course, like some good music as well. I'm not denying it, but it just lightens me up. It just gets me going and all of those. So there you go. Anyway. Time wise, we are done? Yes. Oh, emphatic, yes. Good. Okay, time to score. 10? No. 8, good. I don't want to hear the 10s. I want to hear somebody who's giving me 2. 1. 5. 3. 4. No? 6. Where could I have done better?
So it just you said in the beginning that it's not an exam.
Sure.
So if it would have been an exam, I would have given you 10, but I have given you 8, so that there's a scope for betterment.
Thank you. Thank you. You have been very, very candid and authentic. I like that. Good. Right. So I'm done. Unless you have more questions, I'm happy to address them. I'm not pressurized for time. Otherwise, I'm done. Ronak, anything that was there something that we discussed and you wanted me to cover? Which one? Ah, yeah. Good point. Yes. So let me ask you a question. You have been hearing lectures and lectures and lectures, including mine. Okay? All of you have been told to take notes. Look at this notebook. Thick, fat notebook. Now he's closing it. You have taken notes. What are you going to do with this? Assignments. What assignment? Hey, you never told me this is going to happen. And then what is going to happen? And then you submitted, then what happens? And then what happens? Oh, marks. Hey, कितना मिला? ए, मेरे को B+ ही मिला है. That's all. Are you happy? You are unhappy. No, I think, look, today's world is also about a lot of information overload. You know, here we are a bunch of guys coming in and giving you all sorts of gyan, 6 mantras of life, and somebody gives you corporate gyan and this gyan and that gyan and all of those, you know. And I can tell you there is only so much you can absorb. There's only so much which is going to go into your brain and to your body and your system and all of those. The choice that you have in front of you is to actually say which one of these makes sense for me and how do I put it into practice. And that's a choice you have to make. If none of this made sense and none of this you want to put into practice, that's also all right. Remember, the choice of your happiness is in your hands. So this is also a choice you have. Nobody is going to sit and monitor you. Besides the 1000-word synopsis that you have written and you got an A+, after that you tear that synopsis and throw it away, nobody is going to bother. I know that also. So here's one suggestion if you want to, is when is the last day for all these lectures to get over? 15th August. So now the 7 days you are going to have all these 5 lectures every day. I would have been brain dead. Anyway, okay. What I think you should do, this is a suggestion, is at the end of 15th August, pick 5 things and keep them very, very simple. Pick 5 things that you are going to practice or you are going to imbibe on a day-to-day basis. And as Ronak says that you have a buddy system, put it on a chart in your room and stick it on top of your bed or your cupboard or wherever visible. You are not allowed to? Okay. I'll think of a solution. I don't have a solution for this. But what you can do is to put it in a prominent place. Maybe it's just a cardboard that you don't stick it, keep it on your table. Don't have to stick it, you're allowed to keep it on your table, do that. In bold, in your own handwriting, and write as neatly as you can. Maybe you can use a nice graffiti or nice coloring or choose a nice pen or just paint it. Whatever suits you, whatever appeals to your character, just do that. And just keep it on your table. That's it. Just observe them every day. And these are chosen by you, these are written by you, these are things which you want to do. That's all that I am saying. Nobody is forcing you, nobody is monitoring you. Remember, responsibility. Do that, see how it makes a difference. Okay? Anything else, Ronak, that we discussed and we... Alright. Thank you very much for your time. I always enjoy interacting with the young. One day I was young. I'm still younger. I've attended many lectures. Always used to find them boring. Maybe this is one of those for you as well. Your choice. But I always enjoy. Always learn from all of you. Believe it or not. Seriously. I don't know whether you learned or not, but I have learned from you guys. Something which I find it good, enriching, fulfilling, all of those. Okay, good. Without further ado, thank you very much. Have a good night and stay happy. Okay. I can. Shall I leave it with Ronak? Okay, I'll leave it with Ronak. Good. All right. So I remove this.
Thank you so much, sir, for being such an enthusiast and sharing your inspirational words with us. I'm sure it will surely help the students of the batch. The skills are universal and they're rare. True professionals stands out from the crowd and grow rewarding and satisfying careers. And the customers of the world know when one is at work. On this note, let us strive to become good professionals and hardcore leaders so that we can achieve our goals. Thank you and see you tomorrow morning. Have a very good evening. Thank you.